We manage the predictable events by using our 6-week rolling forecast, and it allows us to see what demand we're expecting. We then manage that through the 3-hourly flow meetings, which are well attended by senior divisional managers, clinical chairs, and that's for divisions and across corporate services as well. We have consultants for each specialty on at a weekend. That helps us manage our discharges, and where we know we've got peaks of high demand, we also put a weekend discharge team that's consultant-led as well.
As clinical leaders, we need to own the risk across the system in the hospital. We need to make sure we've got flow and capacity as a patient safety issue, and make sure we have consultants from every specialty in at the weekend, admitting and discharging patients, and making sure on bank holidays and long weekends like Christmas, New Year, we have additional staffing in, junior doctors, therapists, to make sure we get people out of the hospital as much as we can to keep the hospital safe.
Well, I think the role of the executive team is to make sure that having a plan is an absolute priority across the organisation. I think then certainly for our weekend plans, you know, the chief nurse is responsible and accountable for the safe staffing across the organisation, the medical director likewise, and then as a triumvirate we work together to make sure that we've got the safest plan that we can possibly have for the weekend. I think for bigger events like Christmas, and the Trust Board will want to see the plan, and we will share that with them.
We look at what's happened in the organisation previously, particularly around demand. We also look across the region and across the city to see if there's any planned events that might increase our demand. We then have conversations with our MDTs around staffing risks and any estates risks or equipment that's broken, particularly things like the MRI scanner where we might have to have a different contingency, and then we make sure that's communicated across the organisation in good time.
I think first off you need to understand when those predictable events are. I think you need to understand your demand, how many patients you might admit or may come through the ED that weekend, and then you have to gear your system as best you can to meet that demand. Some of the stuff that we do here is about having a very granular focus on which patients might be going at the weekend by name. And then on a Monday we'll follow up, did they go, didn't they go, why didn't they go, what can we learn from that. We try to put a bit of extra capacity in over the weekend, so that might be 6 to 10 beds that we can open on Sunday evening that helps us through. You have to be realistic, you're not going to be able to deliver on all of that demand, but getting the maximum percentage is the best objective.
As clinicians, we can help with predictable events like weekends and bank holidays by good planning, making sure there's a clear plan in every patient's notes, making sure we have the right staffing in place to discharge those patients, and escalating if there's a problem to make sure we get those people home as much as we can.
My advice is to understand your demand and try and get your capacity as close as you can to it. Influence the system around the hospital and make sure their planning is as robust as yours is to try and help. Finally is always debrief. Have a debrief of your plan and see what you can learn for next time to plan better.